Good morning, everyone. I decided to do a short video showing how I'm going to make these inks my own. I've got everything laid out, as you can see, and we're going to take it one at a time. This is the before. How each one of them looks. I'm trying not to change the consistency of the ink because I love how it works now. Okay, so let me move some of this stuff over and out of the way so y'all can see better. Okay, for the black ink, I am going to be using rosemary, obsidian, and sandalwood stencil oils. Now, when doing this, you want to be sure you only get a super tiny bit of the ingredients, because if you add too much, you're going to be changing the consistency. So, sorry, I got ink on my hand already, but that's how much rosemary I'm putting in. Not very much. This ink is for protection, so rosemary is very good for protection. Now for the sandalwood, I am only going to put 1 drop in because, again, I do not want to change the consistency of the ink. I'm trying to keep it as close as possible. Now, I'm going to drop 1 obsidian chip in, which that will help mix all the ink in together. Come on, go on there. Okay, so I got the stopper in. I'm going to shake it up. Okay, now let's test it out and see how it did. Again, I'm trying to get the consistency to stay the same, but I want to add my own herbs and everything to it. I'm shaking too much to hold it up like that. Okay, it looks a little thinner. Oh, there. Okay. There. I've also got some water over here to wash my quill off. But that's the before and the after. Not too bad so far. Okay, so I've added my sandalwood and my rosemary and my obsidian, all for protection. So my protection ink is all ready for me to use. And I have ink all over my hands. And that's okay, because that happens when you're doing this kind of, when you're working with inks. Okay, next I'm going to do the piece. That is the blue ink. I am going to use some lavender, some amethyst, and some clary sage for peace. All these ingredients are very connected to peace, so I felt they would be the perfect blend for me. Okay, let's put this little fingers are going to get dirty doing this. Okay. I am putting 3 little tiny lavender buds into my ink. And that's my herb for peace. Then I'm going to add 1 drop excuse my little babies in there. Next door, there's cats. They love to sit right in front of our windows and tease our babies. And they're beautiful cats, and I wish I could have a cat, but I can't. I'm allergic. Okay, then I got just a couple. I'm thinking of adding 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiny little chips of amethyst. Okay, now I'm going to put my lid back on. Baby, no. Then shake it up. When you shake it, you've got to be sure this little rubber stopper is on there good. Okay. It looks good. Okay, now, right. Okay, when I first add them, it's like they do not want to start using the color. Ah, there. Okay. And then all of a sudden they start. So that might be the oil on it, because the oil will go on top. But there's the blue for peace, the before and the after. So far, I'm pretty happy with these. So my piece is now done. The next one I'm going to do is enchantment. I have the red ink. I'm going to be adding sage oil, willow, and a clear quartz. Willow is very good to use for enchantments. Ah, whole thing wasn't on. Okay. Sage is a good overall oil, and so is the clear quartz. I like having a stone in it because it adds more energy to it, and also it helps mix everything up together. Okay, just a tiny bit of willow. And I forgot, this one does not have a stopper. But you know what? I'm going to just drop my quill in and just get a tiny bit. There. Then I'm going to add, if I can get these open, because I had trouble getting the others open. Romeo, it's okay. Again, I'm going to add 7 little chips, because these are real tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've got everything in there. Come on, stay on. Shake it real good. Now, let's see how well it works. Oh, very well. That's the red. After I've added my ingredients, and now this ink is all ready for me to use. Now, I've got 3 done. And let's go on to the Psychic, which is the purple ink. And then I'm going to use amethyst again. I am going to use lavender oil and a rose petal. All these are very good for psychic work. So, I don't need a lot of rose. I'm not even going to take, I'm going to take one of the smaller ones, and I'm going to break it in half. So I just have a little tiny bit, because the herbs will thicken it, and then I won't have the right consistency. So I always want to make sure it's just a tiny bit. Now, 1 drop of lavender, and that's why I'm only doing one drop of oils, because that will also thin it so it does not work correctly. And these are water-based inks, and they will not mix with the oil very well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces of the tiny amethyst chips. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to put my little stopper on. Before I started all this, I did cleanse everything and make it ready. I've got incense going and all. And I'm excited to start using my inks in my books. Okay. Okay, now I might have put too big of a drop of oil in, because it is there. Okay. Wash my... No, it's not coming clean. There. Okay. So. And yep, I got oil all over my fingers. And it's okay, because I can wash them later. Okay, so that is my Psychic ink, and it's all ready for me to start using. Now the last one I'm going to do is the Prosperity ink, and that's the green ink, and I'm going to use basil oil, green aventurine, and a little piece of sweet wood, which is cinnamon. So, take the thing off. I'm going to first put in the cinnamon, and I just want a real tiny piece. See, just one piece. That's all I need. Then I'm going to put 1 drop of basil oil. Come on. Then I'm going to put 7 little tiny chips of avitrine in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I picked these because they're all very good for prosperity. Okay, get back in there. Now, I'm going to seal it back up all the way. I don't want a chance of spilling it. Shake it up real good. Then there you go. Now, all of my inks are ready for me to use. It was a little bit messy, but I think they turned out pretty well. Thank you, Witch's Moon. I'm really enjoying these inks already. Blessed be everyone.